Hello and welcome to the first hands-on impression of the 15-inch Apple MacBook Air M2 chip. Now, it is a device that was highly anticipated since the beginning of this year. And now, Apple has finally delivered on what the masses have been asking for. A big screen, affordable MacBook. Now, before this 15-inch MacBook Air, if you wanted to buy a MacBook with a big screen, you only had one option. A 16-inch MacBook Pro, which starts from Rs 2,22,000. Because in the affordable range below Rs 1.5 lakh, you could either get a 13-inch MacBook Air or a 13-inch MacBook Pro. So now you know how important of a slot this 15-inch M2 MacBook Air actually fills. A big screen MacBook for the masses. And it is a very intelligent move because MacBook sales have been declining a lot recently. But hey, Apple actually knows when it's time to inject some demand into the market. So, is this new 15-inch MacBook Air worth the price? Let's find out. When it comes to design, the MacBook Air M2 sticks to Apple's signature sleek and lightweight aesthetic. But the real star of the show is the 15.3-inch display. It's spacious, it's immersive, and it's everything you would want from a larger MacBook Air. Plus, with a gross weight of just 1.51 kg, and a thickness of just 11.5 millimeters, it is still very portable to carry around basically everywhere. In terms of I/O ports, it comes with two Thunderbolt USB 4 ports, a MagSafe charging slot, and a 3.5mm audio jack. There is no USB-A port on this thing, so I would suggest getting one of these if you plan on purchasing this MacBook. The 15-inch MacBook Air M2 boasts a standout feature that sets it apart from the crowd. Its large 15.3-inch liquid retina display. With a native resolution of 2880 x 1864, this display is perfect for whether you are watching videos, browsing the web, or editing photos. The MacBook Air 15-inch M2's display offers an immersive experience. In terms of color saturation though, it is not as good as some of the OLED displays that we have started seeing on Windows laptops. But it is still objectively very good and does get very bright for both indoor and outdoor environments. And let's not forget, because this has more space on the inside, it also means that it has room for more speakers. Now, Apple speakers are generally very good, but the 15-inch MacBook Air takes it to a whole another level. I mean, the bass on this thing is outright fantastic. Here, take a listen to this thing. Also, just like the 13-inch model, the speakers are now placed on the inside and they fire up towards the screen, which is reflected back to you. One clear advantage I see of having no open speaker grill is that they will stay dust free. And combined with the completely fanless design of the Apple 15-inch MacBook Air, it really becomes one of the great laptops that you can buy in India, especially because there is so much dust always flying around everywhere over here. One common complaint of small laptops is that they don't have sufficient palm rest area, but I'm glad to say that this is not the issue here. The 15-inch M2 MacBook Air has enough space to rest your palms. It is a small detail, but it makes a huge difference in overall ergonomics. The trackpad is also big, even bigger than the 14-inch version, and it works quite flawlessly. I mean, it's even on all the sides and offers precise clicks, doesn't matter where you press. And the 15-inch MacBook Air M2 also features a keyboard that's consistent across the line. Apple has come a long way from the days of their infamous terrible keys, and with the improved key travel and a design that minimizes the risk of debris getting trapped, it's a relief for anyone who values a reliable and a hassle-free typing experience. What's even better on this machine is its performance. Now, I have the base model over here with the 8GB RAM and the 256GB SSD. Even then, this machine feels very snappy. What is more impressive is its price to performance ratio. Let me explain. The M2 chip in the 13-inch MacBook is available in two variants. One with an 8-core CPU and an 8-core GPU for Rs 1.14 lakh. Another one with an 8-core CPU and a 10-core GPU for Rs 1.44 lakh. But thankfully, the M2 chip in the 15-inch MacBook Air only has one variant, the more powerful one, and it only costs Rs 1.34 lakh. Now, provided that the 13-inch faster version of the MacBook M2 Air comes with a 512GB SSD by default, but for someone who wants a bigger display and all the benefits that come with having a bigger chassis, the 15-inch is the one to go for. Besides, you can always attach an external SSD to your Mac and resolve the low storage issue. And the supposedly slower 256GB SSD does seem to be lagging behind on paper, but in real world conditions, it is barely noticeable. In the benchmarks, you can see the multi-core performance difference between the 13-inch and the 15-inch base model MacBooks, but the single core score is almost the same. So, tasks like opening or closing apps or editing documents and the general process of scouring the web is almost identical on both the devices. So, what I'm trying to say is that whether you are editing videos, browsing the web or doing a lot of stuff at once, the MacBook Air M2 will just glide through all of that. And I know that no one would play games on a MacBook, but I went ahead and did so anyway. Specifically, I played Dota 2 and Asphalt, and they both performed really well for a thin and light MacBook with no fans. And after playing these games, I realized that these are capable machines and only need developer support on it. I mean, Resident Evil Village, which is optimized for Apple Silicon, runs very well on the M2 MacBook Air. And Apple also announced a game porting toolkit which would give developers an easy way to bring more of their games to the MacBooks. So, Apple may not have been serious about gaming on Mac in the past, but things are about to change. What's also changed is the battery life. I mean, you can easily survive one full day on a single charge. The 15-inch M2 Air averages around 14 and a half hours, falling right in between its siblings, the 13-inch MacBook Air and the 14-inch MacBook Pro. So here is the bottom line. Apple has listened to its fans and has delivered a MacBook Air that ticks all the right boxes. It is not changing the world in any significant way, but it is doing what it's supposed to do very well and then some more. Like when I talked about gaming, Apple is slowly and surely getting there. And with the developer support expanding all across the board, we might see a dedicated gaming MacBook in the near future as well. So this was the 15-inch Apple MacBook Air M2. Did you like it? Did you hated it? Let us know all in the comment section below. My name is Yatnesh and I will see you guys next time.